Wolf Pictures, welcome back. It's been a long time since I've chatted, so long time no see. This is episode 1 of season 3 of my rantings and waffling shit. So yeah, things haven't been easy towards the end of last year, and that's kind of why things went a bit quiet. But 2022 has been off to a cracking start for the most part for me, and just music's back. Thankfully, I've already managed 3 gigs in January alone, and I've smashed, here's all the physical stuff from January, 36 albums already. So yeah, I've smashed the album a day goal. There's a change of tack. I'll go to that first in the collecting. I'm still aiming hopefully for an album a day, but I've kind of changed what I'm buying between now and the new target. I was watching a interview with James Acaster. Some of you may be familiar with the British comedian, and he went through some mental health issues himself, and like me, music is what helped him get through it. And I'm having Porky Pig moments at the moment, and I'm struggling with my speech, so please forgive me. He collected a shit ton of albums, 700 albums, all from the year 2016, and he was getting trolled by some of the old school rockers and old school music fans saying 1971 is real music, man. So he took the piss, as a comedian would, and made a throwaway comment that until you have 700 albums from 1971, I think you can see where this is going, folks. He won't take you serious. So I have accepted that challenge, James, and between now and I hit that target, pretty much every album I'm going to buy is going to be, I've made it difficult for myself, a rock album, even soft rock, anything that is vaguely rock is going to be added to the collection until I hit 700 albums, and then I am happy to open public discourse and have a debate with James Acaster about the merits of music from 1971 versus the merits of music from 2016, the year the music died. I hope some of you get what I am referencing there. I'm going to say no more because I love ambiguity. Gig-wise, I'll go to that next. I managed a brilliant gig in Bridgewater. I went to see the amazing Scar Sun. Discovered a load of other bands, one of which I will mention because I managed to get their CDs. Yeah, there were some cool bands there. It was a really good night, and so I'm going to talk and try and go through my collection at the same time. There was a brilliant band there which were headlining called Elkapath, and this is their album here. Amazing singer, amazing band. They were pretty cool and chatted to me after the show and listened to me talk a load of drivel like I normally do post show. So there'll be a link to their Bandcamp so you can go and buy that. Do check it out. Then the next gig was Friday night at a venue called Green Rooms in Treforest, which is about a 20-30 minute drive from my flat, and it's on a little industrial estate in the middle of nowhere. An incredible venue, some amazing bands including Ward 16, that's a must-see band. It's a bit like Alice Cooper and Queensryche mashed together. Crazy stage show. I'll put a link in there. I've mentioned them before. But that night was incredible. It was just full-on heavy screamo metal, as I call it, because I don't know all the genres, folks. It's just rock. Let's not get too pretentious, and yeah, enough said about that. But no, we had an incredible night. I'm going to touch on something which is, I wrote a song about it. For those of you who aren't aware about the UK rock scene, there was a truly awful human being who was outed recently for doing some truly horrific things to women behind the scenes. That sort of thing does go on. So I wrote a song called Ode to Jimmy, which is open source. Feel free to contact me. I have a Facebook page, the link will be there with some photos. There's some exclusive photos which I'll be getting to when I mention the next gig I went to after Friday. So that was cool. The band headlining, really good. I'm having a brain fart moment, but anyway, they have been banned from Fuel in Cardiff for, I thought it was fucking brilliant. So basically, towards the end of their set, they got a pack of chocolate hobnobs and gave it to one of the girls from Metal Maidens. Again, you can see some posts regarding them on my Facebook. They're like a dance troupe that do dancing and fire and shit to metal. So he gave a pack of hobnobs to one of them and said, right, the aim of the game is to hang on to those biscuits and everyone else has to try and get them from you. So during their last two songs, it was just a mosh pit for the biscuits, and it was crazy. There was food fight, biscuits everywhere. I was being used as a battering ram by the staff because I'm in the wheelchair. It was crazy, and it was fantastic, and we all had a good time. There was even a chant dedicated to said sex pest. That was brilliant. I may have had a hand in starting that. And then Saturday night happened, and I went to probably one of the greatest gigs of my life. It was incredible. I keep saying that when I go to gigs, but then they just keep getting better. So it was at the hallowed ground of Hammersmith, and the fantastic thing about Hammersmith, I'm not going to call it its other name, much like this was one of the best things of the night, is all four bands which I'm about to mention refused to call it its current name. It's Hammersmith. It always has been, and it always will be. And this is my first time there. I had to, it's a rite of passage going to Hammersmith for a metal or rock show. And four huge bands played there. Saxon headlined with support from Uriah Heep, Girl School, and Diamond Head. And those of you who know Diamond Head, you know their song. They finished off their set with Am I Evil, and their lead singer grabbed that off me and was running about the stage with it. It just made my evening. And then he only went and helped me prank Girl School with it, and we left it on the stage for them to find. So Rasmus, thanks for making that the greatest night of my rock life, gig-wise, so far. So yeah, that was an incredible good show, and also thanks to Girl School for being good sports. Poor Jackie, she knows what I'm like with prosthetic legs. So yeah, they took it in good humour. I love Girl School to pieces. So yeah, that was a good night. So I'm going to go back to the collecting, so we can go through what we got. I've got a few box sets. 1, 2, 3. Box sets feels like I'm kind of cheating because you get like 5 albums in a set. So I've finally started getting Fleetwood Mac. This is all pre-Stevie Nicks. It's all the early stuff. Really cool sounding. I didn't really know they sounded like that because I haven't got round to listening to them yet. So yeah, I think I've managed to listen to all of that. I've got a lot of CDs to get through still. So that's one of the box sets we got. And then I stumbled across this band, New Model Army. Really enjoyed that. Something different. Wasn't sure what to expect. Great, and that's still sealed. I was lucky enough that came with a free digital version, so I've kept the digital versions and kept that sealed, so it keeps it nice and protected on the shelf. And then another band I never really, at the time, gave them credit because they just weren't my jam, or peanut butter, or any kind of sandwich spread really. That's the Cranberries. So finally got around to getting them. Pretty cool. I enjoyed that. And then finally, and this is quite cool, that I got the 5 albums on there, because I've only got 2 to go from this band. I checked online in a little group of stoners. They're mostly American stoners, and they're the most lovely. I don't smoke the green devil's herb myself, or bananas, which I think is the devil's herb. So yeah, they loved it. A lot of them love this band, and they're always playing it. But it's just a nice chill environment. You know, I got no problem with stoners. Drunks, I empathise with because of the struggles, but the stoners are just the most chill people to hang out with, and it's a cool little environment. But the Cars, ladies and gentlemen, early punk. I've only got 2 more albums to go. This is like the first 5. So I'll get that at some point. Obviously, things are being delayed now with the online feud I'm trying to have with James Acaster. So BBC, if you're watching, can you tell James Acaster that I seriously want to have a feud and Jimmy Savile's a cunt? On to Jesse's Divide. There's going to be a lot of swearing tonight. So here we go. Jesse's Divide's debut album, finally here. I'm going to do some bragging. They did this on Indiegogo for the funding, and whenever I've backed a band on any kind of Kickstarter fundraising project, I get really invested. It's quite tense just watching it creep up. Are they going to do it? I've just helped Porky Pig moments. I just helped Haxon, which is a South Welsh all-girl band, 3-piece band, incredible. They now have a van, thanks to me and some really generous donations from other people. I did what I could. So they now have a van, and I've forgotten where I was going with this. Backing people, yeah, I'm really glad they hit their funding goal yesterday. But yeah, Jesse's Divide did that, and one of the backing tiers was for a certain amount of money. They were going to do a socially distanced album launch, which was myself and 8 other people went to a private gig in their rehearsal studios, streaming platform, recording area type thing. It's their own venue that the band own. I'll go on to more about that. Basically, what they're wanting to do is use it to help up-and-coming bands get exposure, not in a John Badger or Jimmy Savile way, but good exposure, decent exposure. So yeah, Jesse's Divide, ladies and gentlemen. That's the new album. There it is there. There's an unnamed track. When it comes up on the... If you rip it to computer, it won't name it because the label didn't really like the fact of a 40-second track called Shut Your Cunting Mouth. So I've rectified that, and on my version, on Media Player at least, it says that. So that was a real joy, guys. If you ever get to see this and take the time to listen through all my shit just to get to this point, thank you so much for including me in that. Thank you for making beautiful music, and thank you for the starbursts. They were really nice. The cherry ones are fantastic. I think I popped those into my mouth. Don't have a dirty mind, people. Back to Friday night. The events manager at Green Rooms is in a band. Oh my god, my lopsided stash. In a band called Vanity Kills. And they were all there, and I'd bought these, and they got lost in the post, so they... And I wasn't in a rush, because Bandcamp give you free digital copies anyway. So he's like, dude, here they are, signed by the band. They all signed it last night, except for one of them who's away on paternity leave. Congratulations to you. And so they all signed it, and I'm going to put a link to my favourite song of theirs, which is called Loaded Gun. So, yeah, this is all... Technically, I didn't buy these this month. They were last year, but thanks to Royal Post, they never arrived. They probably thought they were Christmas gifts and someone stole them to put under their kids' tree. And then a friend of mine from Scotland introduced me to a band called Pete and Diesel, which is punk folk. Incredible. I love it. So this one's called Like My Buyer. And this one is called Uptown Funk. And they do a lot of Scottish references, and they use Scottish language words in their songs. It's not all in Gaelic. It's the odd Gaelic stuff in there, but there's loads of like reference to things being Scottish. And they do where is it gone? I'm going to mispronounce this when I say the name of the song. They got a song called "Plate Full of Skagdan," Skagdan with a G, okay, and it's a piss take out of Brimful of Asher. You really need to listen to that, and they are completely correct because I've googled what a plate full of Skagdan is. It's kippers, folks. No surprise there. And everybody does need a granny for a Skagdan. So yeah, thanks for making cool music, guys. If you guys come down to Cardiff or somewhere that isn't in the far north of the frozen north, like by the North Pole or something, I might come and see you guys. And then this was really cool. I'm gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 discs left. I went into the world's oldest record store at some point in July. I can't remember when, kind of towards the beginning-ish. And I'm a weirdo, and I probably frightened the staff there. I'm like, dude, can you just find me like 60 quid's worth of stuff that's vaguely rock? And he got confused. He's like, oh, so what kind of rock do you want? So as long as it's vaguely rock. So, oh, so it's not too heavy or not? I said, dude, anything that comes under the greater rock umbrella. The joys of autism, folks. So yeah, he basically just went through and said, oh, and he mentioned a band called Dead Shed Jokers. Said, this is one. I was like, oh, I've already got that. I saw them supporting Piston and Bad Touch at Club Eiffel Bark. If I haven't mentioned already, Club Eiffel Bark is on Womanby Street, Cardiff, along with another venue called Fued, which I've already mentioned tonight, The Moon, and there's a couple of others I can't remember because I haven't been there yet. But basically, Womanby Street is Cardiff's own version of the Sunset Strip. It is the place to be for like underground, low-key gigs. Totally worth it. So yeah, he's Ross Jennings is one. I can't remember what one's what. I'm still overly tired. It's 19 minutes past 21, which is the evening, for those who don't understand how clocks work. And I got fuck all sleep last night and the night before, because one, I was late home from the green rooms, and then I didn't get home till nearly 6 in the morning from London, because I went via Bristol and Aberdare. So it's been a long one. So yeah, check that out. Ross Jennings. These are all, some of these are Welsh bands. I tried to get Welsh stuff that I wouldn't think of, and this one's called, don't lose count, Muttley. Pigs, 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 Pigs. Really cool band. I think they're still going. I know one of the bands in here is broken up. I think it was this one that was similar to Les Atelier, which I've talked about before. Kind of like stoner, psychedelic, heavy metal, rock, fusion-y, something. Check them out. A band called, what's the album called, Muttley? Feed the Rats. It might help if I tell you the names of the albums too, if I'm trying to. And back to a shadow of my. I can't read fancy handwriting, dudes, so I don't know what it is. It's a shadow of either my former or future self, which is really helpful because one is the opposite of the other. Support local music venues, folks, as well. That's what I'm trying to. I'm going to try and go in there more often. So with just another weird request, can I just say, can you give me 60 quid's worth of rock music from 1971, dudes? Because that won't make people feel uncomfortable. Then there's a band called Talons with an album called All We Know. Yeah, guys, I am sorry for not selling your albums better. It's rock. Just fucking listen to it. Because rock is, music is life. As Glenn Hughes says, love is the answer and music is the healer. And this one I can't even read because I didn't believe what my mother told me. Why I thought she was trying to just say that would keep the bed sheets clean. And this band is called fuck it, I don't know, guys. If you recognize that album cover, can you make the writing bigger for those of us who are no self-control as a teenage boy and are now visually impaired? No, that's a fuck. Right hand, left hand. That's what they're called. Check them out, guys. I can't tell them the name of your album, guys. Seriously, sort your shit out. I love this album cover. Out of the 6 I got. How awesome does that look? Just right now I just got vague. No, it doesn't look anything like Salisbury. It's just similar writing font. So this band's called Keys. And the name of the album, because I'm reading it on the back, because I'm trying to be clever, is Bring Me the Head of Jerry Garcia. There'll be a prize for whoever can tell me who Jerry Garcia is. I know I should recognize that name. So if you aren't first person to answer the comments who Jerry Garcia is, I will get you a copy of the New Wave of Classic Rock compilation CD and send it to you. So basically I'll reply with my email to the first person that does it, because that way you can message me and I don't dox you unintentionally. And then there's a band called Estrons with this album called, it sounds like something an incel would say. Sorry guys, you're probably not incels, but the name of the album is You Say I'm Too Much, I Say You're Not Enough. Seriously guys, I'm sorry, that was a dickhead thing to say. Really. But just those bands, thanks for making cool music. I don't even remember what I'm supposed to be talking about, or even if this video's finished. So basically, don't be a creep. And I'll leave it at that. I think. Love and sausages. Woof.